Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. The biggest story today is that Jack Wilshere, Arsenal are considering sending him out on loan. And this has been a massive story. When I first heard it, I was like, what? You sure? Jack Wilshere? But every outlet in the UK is going with it today. There does seem to, for me, to be a lot of truth in this story. These stories don't just emerge like that out of nowhere. And it looks like Arsenal have made him available for a loan move. And, you know, the agents would have cottoned onto that. And that's probably how the story has got out into the press. Now, is this a good move or a bad move? I mean, I don't know. I'm really torn on this one. Of course, Jack Wilshere, we know, has not had a lot of game time over the past couple of seasons. Lots and lots of injuries. And he now faces a lot of competition to get into the team. I mean, you look at the players in that midfield, centre midfield area, and he's got to get past Mesut Ozil, Granit Xhaka now, Aaron Ramsey, Mohamed El Neni, Santi Cazorla, and Francis Coquelin. You've got all of those guys vying for free spots in the team on a regular basis. And Jack Wilshere, you've got to say, when you look at all of those players, comes quite far down the options that are available. I mean, we've seen him at the start of the season. He's made 2 substitute appearances. Has looked pretty bright in both of them. But will he be starting? And Jack Wilshere, we know he loves England. He's just been left out of the England squad, as we know. He's desperate to get back into that squad and be playing football on a regular basis. Probably if he was playing on a regular basis, he could probably be looking at being maybe even England captain right now. But because of he's had such a lack of game time, he went into the Euros only actually playing 1 game for Arsenal. Didn't have a good Euros. He's really looking to get himself back on track. Arsenal really want to get him back on track. And maybe a loan move might make sense. And there's clubs queuing up at the moment to try and get him on loan. We're being told that West Ham and Crystal Palace in particular really want to get him. Also being said that Juventus are really interested in bringing Jack Wilshere in. Now, as I said, I'm really mixed on this whole thing. On the one hand, I see the logic of it because, yes, Jack Wilshere needs to be playing games and he just hasn't played enough games over the past few years. And this is a way of getting him playing week in, week out. So I see that. But then if you send him to a Premier League team, he's still going to have all the physicality of all those games. Remember, he's a guy, I think, that has to be nursed at the moment through games. And there's no better place to nurse him through games than at Arsenal. If you send him out on loan to somewhere, they might overplay him. So sending him out to another Premier League team, he's still going to have all the physicalities of all the Premier League games. If you send him out to Europe, you know, Juventus and that, will he play week in, week out? And could we not do with him? I mean, all right, yes, you know what Arsenal are like. It looks at the start of the season like we've got a big squad. Send him out on loan. It could be a couple of injuries and he could be, you know, a player that we require. We've got lots of competitions. We've got the Champions League. We've got the FA Cup. We've got the League Cup. I don't know. For me personally, I don't really like the sound of this move. I'd rather Jack Wilshere stay at Arsenal. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think. I'm going to put it in a poll today. Do you think a loan move, Jack Wilshere going out on loan is a good thing or a bad thing? Yes or no? Let me know. But for me personally, at the moment, I have to say I'd like Jack Wilshere to stay at Arsenal and, you know, for them to get him through this and for them, I think he'll get game time. You know, he'll get game time, but he's going to have to ease his way into it. Arsenal also being linked today yet again with Miguel Almiron. Yesterday I spoke about this. Almiron, who's a Paraguay international who plays in Argentina for a team called Lanús. He's been linked yet again today with an £11 million move to Arsenal. He's just joined up with the Paraguay squad because they've got qualifiers up against Alexis Sanchez Chile, also playing Uruguay. And he was asked by the press about the you know, all of the links that are linking him to Arsenal. His quotes are, he said, "It would be nice to play for Arsenal, but I still haven't heard anything. The person to speak to is my agent. For now, I'm just thinking about Lanús." For me, I can't see this one happening, especially if he said that. The window, of course, we know closes tomorrow. He'd have to get a medical done, all that sort of stuff. For me, I don't see this as one that's going to happen. Maybe something for the future, maybe a player they're looking for at the future, maybe the agent trying to push him out there. We certainly all heard of him now, but since he's been linked with Arsenal. But doesn't look like nothing's happening on that when you read into what he's saying about his comments, about those comments that were, you know, made about him moving to Arsenal. Calum Chambers, another Arsenal player who looks like he's going out on loan. He's going to be, well, I think this is almost sealed. He's going to Middlesbrough on loan on a season-long move. I think, again, that's a good move. Another guy that needs game time. Get out there, get a lot of game time in, and then come back, hopefully, a much better player. Calum Chambers, of course, big investment for Arsenal, £16 million. But again, has hardly featured for the Arsenal first team. And when he's come in, he's been a bit error-prone, probably trying a bit too hard. Getting him a lot of game time, this will help him a lot. So Calum Chambers going out on loan to Middlesbrough, and I think that one's sensible. What about this? These are players not that we've been exactly linked to at the moment, but players that we've been linked to during the summer. That two of them where, you know, their clubs have said they're not going anywhere, and then Arsenal have said okay, and turned their attentions elsewhere. Julian Draxler. Now, PSG are reportedly put in a £64 million bid for him. Wow. I tell you, this market is crazy. A £64 million bid for Julian Draxler. And Wolfsburg apparently may not still even sell him. They're still thinking about keeping hold of him. But that's an amazing amount of money for Julian Draxler, who's still got a lot to prove, Julian Draxler. You know, he's still got a lot to prove, but £64 million. And also Alexander Lacazette. Now, the PSG president came out yesterday and said that West Ham put in a £43 million bid for him, and they turned it down. He's just simply not for sale. And I think Arsenal looks like they would have sniffed this, that he's not going to be going anywhere from a little while back, and that's why they didn't really turn their attentions to him too much, because they kind of figured that there's no way that Lyon are going to be selling Lacazette. But £43 million turned down for him. Serge Gnabry, of course, who we know, Arsenal player, did really, really well in the Euros. Sorry, not in the Euros, in the recent Olympics competition for Germany. He was a player of the tournament, absolutely brilliant. Last season, he was on a loan at West Brom. It was a disastrous loan, didn't work out for him. Previous to that, he was injured. His contract is running out. I think he's got till the end of the year, and that's when his contract runs out. And Arsene Wenger recently spoke about wanting him to sign a new deal, how they've stuck by him, and it was quite significant, I thought, that he came out and he was saying stuff like that. Is Gnabry sniffing a move away? Bayern Munich apparently very interested in signing Serge Gnabry, and that will be a deal that may tempt him. And as I said, only a year left on his deal, and it's been said that Bayern Munich are interested in signing him and then immediately sending him out on loan again to Wolfsburg. So could he be the replacement for Draxler maybe? But that's being reported by Bild. Very interesting. It seems to me that Arsenal need to try and tie him down on a new contract. But he's been linked with a move to Bayern Munich. What about our new signing, Lucas Pérez, spotted by many people yesterday, arriving into Heathrow on his way from Spain ahead of his deal where he's going to be signing for Arsenal. Our new striker, you get time to, over the next couple of weeks, to get used to the team, the squad, as the international duties taking place. So Lucas Pérez set to be possibly announced today. You know Arsenal, how we do announcements. They take forever. But I'm hoping that we should see those announcements coming out today. But Lucas Pérez arriving in the UK today. You know what? I heard an interesting thing one time from like an insider. And I'm not saying this is 100%, right? Before anybody tries to sue me, right? But he said to me one time, right, that Sky, you know, you get all these deadline day deals, this happening on deadline day, that happening on deadline day. And what he said to me is that he heard that there was some sort of agreement sometimes between the Premier League clubs and Sky that certain deals, even though they've been done, they'd announce them on deadline day to make that day more interesting. And I can see that. I mean, look how long ago Mustafi and those deals were done. Are we going to suddenly hear about them tomorrow to make deadline day a bit more exciting? You know, some of those last minute deals that, you know, come out of the blue, you're going to tell me that some of those haven't been sort of sorted out a few days before, but it makes for a nice dramatic deadline day. Sky do pay a lot of money for Premier League football. You don't think they'd be able to twist the arm of certain clubs to make sure that... Just saying. Just saying. All right. Finally, our poll yesterday, I asked you this question about Daniel Sturridge. I said if he was available, which, you know, there's a lot of turmoil with him at the moment at Liverpool. If he was available, should Arsenal move and try and buy him? 72% of you said yes, 28% of you said no. So a lot of you would be up for that. We have to wait and see what happens with Sturridge. I doubt it will happen, but I just thought I'd ask the question. But 72% of you said yes, move. So there you have it. Thanks for watching the show today. We're going to be back for the last transfer daily of the summer. It's the 31st. The window slams shut tomorrow. We're going to be down the ground. Whether there'll be a lot of activity happening or not, I don't know yet. But tomorrow is the last transfer daily of the summer. It's been, you know, I was at the Notting Hill Carnival yesterday. Met so many fans down there, so many different clubs, and had some great banter with them. And I'd say every fan was saying to me, they just love the transfer daily. So I really appreciate that. The people who've been watching and supporting it right throughout the summer. It's been really fantastic. The views have been absolutely amazing. So thank you very much for that. But tomorrow, the last one, putting you out of your misery tomorrow. All right. Thanks for watching.